Hello, Jess. Hello, Random. Hello, Sunset. Hello, I almost called you Sammy Deuce. Hello, Jaden. What the frick, Wheeler? What the frick, Random? I already said hi to you. Hello, Vora. Vora Bottle. Can you call me that? I low-key dig into it. Sammy Deuce. What's up, Lava? Good old Lava Fanatic, dude. My goat. Oh, let me get a... I need to put a laptop under my laptop so the laptop on top of the laptop doesn't overheat. Dude, my bed is like without the Sammy. Okay, just Deuce. You just want to be called a piece of shit. You want to be a poop. You want to be a poop. I don't blame you. It happens. So I'm not sure what to do. I do want to just talk though. I sleep on piles of sand. You know, sand is really comfortable. Cool sand though. Like if you're on a beach on July 17th, you know, it's not very good. You know, it's hot. But like cool sand, like you can just like sneak up in that sand and just knock out. Like I wouldn't suggest sleeping totally on the beach. Um I mean, I have, but like I don't suggest it cuz like number 1, you wake up and you got sand all in your pants. That's never fun. That's always the worst feeling, having sand up your ass crack. Number 2, hey buddy, I thought you were relaxing. Listen, Vada Bottle went live. I hopped on. I started to get into the mindset. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to go live. I do want to talk. I do want to talk. But hello, June. June defrosted. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. You get sand up your ass crack, and I've never experienced this, but what about animals? What about animals? What if you're on the beach and a goddamn crab crawls right up in your pants and starts snipping you? What the hell are you going to do? What about the damn sandworms? What about sandworms? What about fucking seagulls? They shit on you. What are you going to do then? However, you got to live life. You can't hide. What's up, Pookie Bear? Sandworms? Yes, you ever seen those? Oh my god. But what's up, Hypernova? Hold on. You guys have never seen those damn sandworms? Oh, hell. What are they called? Not the shit from Dune, but like the... What the hell? I don't know. I keep finding Dune stuff, but I just need to find like... What are those worms called? These. Bro, this is nasty. I know it's an animal, but this is disgusting. This is disgusting. I don't even want to, like... dude, that is huge. It's like a meter. A meter of worm. What's nastier is a maggot. I don't even want to talk about maggots. Oh my god. You have to dig deep to encounter them. What the heck is that, dude? It's a sandworm, dude. It's a beach worm, bro. What are they called? Oh, they're called beach worms. Oh my god, they're called Australopithecus. Hell no, bro. Absolutely not. I could go for a burger. Dog. 2 nights ago, my mama went to my favorite burger place, this local joint, and got a burger and came home with it. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, a bad burger is really bad, but a good burger is the best thing you'll ever eat. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. My cat keeps stinking up the house. What's it doing? Is it spraying? Queso reacts to Yellowstone exploding. 21 minutes. 21 minutes for the Yellowstone video. She has diarrhea. Is she pooping everywhere in your house? Which is really great. The stuff that happened at Yellowstone, there was that geothermal explosion. Those are really rare. I thought that the last one to happen was like 1,000 years ago or so, but I was confusing that with some other stuff. The last eruption to this magnitude was probably in 1980. So it's definitely really rare. But it's pretty rare. But it's not as rare as I thought. I really overestimated how rare it was. Vada, you got eaten. It's terrible. It's terrible. What's happening? Nothing. There's just like a geothermal explosion at Yellowstone. Oop. Oh, this is NCAR. I was scared that I clicked on something. Geothermal. Yeah, it's like top when you look it up. But yeah, it's really crazy. Oh, yep, right there. Imagine being at Yellowstone and seeing this shit, dude. You'd think it's game is over, bro. You would be thinking game's over, dude. It's happening, but it's not. This is just a geothermal explosion. They're really rare, but they're not. It's not a sign of an eruption or anything. This is just purely geothermal. Yellowstone doesn't even have enough liquid melt in her magma chamber to erupt physically. It's not even possible for Yellowstone to erupt. I erupted? Alright. Alrighty. Hello, Eagle. It's a geothermal explosion, so you get magma beneath the crust. Okay? Our ground, we have a lot of groundwater. We'll just say this is the ground. No, that's a crude ground. We'll say that's the ground, okay? Yellowstone is a supervolcano. So under all the ground, there's a huge magma chamber. It looks something like this. And it's all magma beneath the ground, okay? But, you know, also beneath the ground, there's lots of water. That's not water, that's more lava. There's lots of water. And water close to magma obviously makes the water heat up. So it turns to steam. Right, so that's how you get a bunch of geothermal stuff. And so that's where you get your geothermal vents and stuff. And because it's the magma heating up the groundwater, blah, 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 blah. But if you have pressure building up and it gets really, really high and underground, where all the water turns to steam, the pressure gets so high it explodes. So you get boom to the surface. And you get little, and geothermal stuff is like this. It's no sign of eruption, you know. It's no sign of eruption. If Yellowstone was going to erupt, you would know, and we would know years ahead of time. We would know years and years ahead of time. A lot of people make it seem like Yellowstone is like a ticking time bomb, or it's going to go any second. It's not. It's not true at all. Yellowstone actually doesn't even have a. Yellowstone has had explosive eruptions in the past, but Yellowstone has a history of what we call effusive eruptions, which means when Yellowstone usually erupts, they tend to be just big lava flows, just seeping through the crust and stuff. They're not traditionally pure explosions. I don't even know how to do that, Araru. I'm going to be real. I don't know how to use Discord. I have everybody do everything else for me because I don't know what to do. I don't know how shit works. I'm going to turn to a metamorphic rock. I have some volcanic rocks. I was collecting them for a while. I have a box full of like pure obsidian. It's from California. Dude, and like you hold that shit and like it's not polished or anything, which I probably should polish it, but I don't want to. But when you hold it and play with it for a bit, your hands like are really tingly, and I think it's all the like microscopic shreds of glass that have now like shoved in your hand, so I don't touch it a lot. But I gave some to my environmental science teacher in high school. I was like, dude, here's some obsidian. Bunch of rock hits from Agora. Dude, rocks are fire. Rocks are underrated. You can tell the world's history through rocks. Shit's fire. But yeah, you don't have to worry about Yellowstone. The most concerning contiguous United States volcano that you have to worry about, and that is contiguous. So that means that's not including Hawaii or Alaska, right? It's probably Mount St. Helens. That's your most concerning. It's your most concerning volcano in the United States is Mount St. Helens. And even St. Helens, as of right now, doesn't look like she's going to erupt anytime soon. But another eruption is expected in our lifetimes, but not the eruption that everybody thinks of. Because I know when a lot of people think of Mount St. Helens, they think of the 1980 eruption, where there was the earthquake that caused a landslide, and then the landslide triggered an eruption, and then you had the eruption out of the front of the volcano, and it caused like a huge pyroclastic flow. I mean, everybody knows the picture and stuff, right? But yeah, Mount St. Helens before and after is pretty crazy, dude. If you've seen it, it's still really jacked to this day. It's still a beautiful area. See, this is what happened. You had a landslide, and it goes down the volcano. And then the eruption just happened where some space opened up from the landslide, and you had an absolute monster of a pyroclastic flow. There were volcanologists that were caught in it and died. And some of those volcanologists, in their last moments, they actually got some of the best pictures and footage and information. They made it literally and they knew they were going to die, and they made it their mission to collect data and shit. I think that's pretty hardcore, man. It's sad, but I think it's like I think like if you're a volcanologist and you live for the shit, you know what I mean? I think that's a honorable as hell way to go out, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it looks like now. The vegetation is starting to grow in, right? But the it's still obviously, you know, it devastated the landscape. There's a before and after picture that we could look at. Yeah. I mean, you can see that the amount of change. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, you probably wouldn't have to worry about anything in Ohio. You could get, and the thing is, Mount St. Helens is really, really, highly, 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 highly unlikely to do another eruption like that ever again. In our lifetimes. And another Mount St. Helens eruption would be more akin to the 2000s eruptions, where it was just these. They were very low-end eruptions. I mean, it was still an erupting volcano, but they would be smaller, again, more effusive eruptions like this. They wouldn't be, you know, and they're still volcanic eruptions. They're just not catastrophic VEI 5 type eruptions. That, you know, but Mount St. Helens deposited ash all the way to Oklahoma. So it was a big deal. Pompeii, nothing to worry about from Pompeii. Nothing to worry about from Pompeii. If you're in Ohio, you have nothing. There's nothing really geologically that you have to worry about much. The only time you'd ever be like affected by a volcanic eruption would be, you know, a super volcano. No, Pompeii, the city Pompeii is destroyed, obviously. But Mount Vesuvius, the volcano that caused Pompeii, is still very much active. It's still a very active volcano. That entire volcanic system is still ongoing. It's just volcanoes operate on thousands and thousands of year time scales, right? Like most of the time, nothing ever happens in all of our lifetimes. But the last time Vesuvius erupted, I believe, was in the 1940s, and she's definitely real active. I'm gonna look it up. I do believe, yeah, the last Mount Vesuvius eruption was in 1944. Picture of it. Yeah, this is the 1944 eruption of Mount Vesuvius. And the thing is, people get the idea in their head that, it's never going to happen to them or in their lifetime. So people decide to just move next to volcanoes. The day it happens, though, you're fucked, And I don't blame them. Volcanoes actually are really good for, like, civilization, as much as crazy as that sounds. Volcanic soil is the most fertile soil on Earth. It's great for growing fruits and vegetables, and it's great for plant life. So that's why there's so many people that live in these areas, is because it's oceanside, which gives you so many food resources. It's great for water, great for transportation and shipment and stuff like that. And then also because you're near the volcanoes, there's so much fertile land. It's also beautiful. So it makes these areas around the volcanoes and near the shore super, super desirable. So a ton of people live near the volcanoes. If Vesuvius erupted again, we'd have plenty of time to know. We'd at least probably have a week or so, right, or longer. But people would die. I mean, it'd be really bad. It'd be a humanitarian disaster of catastrophic proportions, because the entirety of Italy is volcanic, and Vesuvius isn't even the only volcano that you really have to worry about. If you're in Italy, you have to worry about an entire active super volcanic complex beneath you that is actually currently undergoing significant unrest. I don't know if the USGS updated the alert status, but it does. It is one of the more concerning volcanoes in Italy. But the thing is just because it is the term supervolcano is not scientific or used in literature at all. It's kind of a buzzword. Supervolcanoes are just the term is usually just given to any volcano that produces a large caldera forming eruption, or like a VEI 7 or a VEI 8 eruption. And even if a supervolcano erupts again, it doesn't mean that the eruption would be supervolcanic, right? Like a supervolcano can erupt with VEI 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strength. You know what I mean? Just because a supervolcano is erupting, or the complex that the supervolcano is a part of is erupting, doesn't mean that you're going to see a super eruption or something like that. You're going to be fine. I think that if you had a worst case scenario eruption, you would see effects in Europe, and you'd see them worldwide. You would see them worldwide. They'd be pretty bad. We've only had one VEI 7 eruption, which is a super volcano. By all technicalities, is a VEI 8 eruption. We've never had a VEI 8 eruption in recorded human history. But we have had one VEI 7, and it was Mount Tambora in Indonesia. That is 10 times smaller than Yellowstone's smallest eruption, smallest super eruption, and it caused what is colloquially known as the year without a summer in 1815, where, for example, as far west as the United States, you were getting an inch of ice on the ground that was killing crops in the middle of July. You were getting, sunsets didn't look the same for almost 3 years. There was so much ash and sulfuric aerosols in the atmosphere that the sky was yellow and orange for like 3 years straight. It killed hundreds of thousands of people. There was mass famine. It was really, really bad. And you'd probably see something similar if there was the worst case scenario. It would be really bad. It would be really, really, really bad. But we'd be okay. Like, if you're in the United States, you don't have to worry about that. Or if you're in... it would be really bad for Italy. That's for sure. It'd be really bad for Italy. Probably Austria. Probably most of Europe would take a hit, but I think you'd be fine. Like, it wouldn't be anything like you worried about. And that's on worst case scenario eruption, which is so unlikely. But here's Vesuvius. So this is Vesuvius right here. And right next to it is the supervolcano. And you can see all these calderas, and this is all from one singular magma chamber. All these little rims here are different craters. You can see those. That's really clear. All these little ones here. All those little areas are little craters. This is a huge caldera right here. And then you have little cinder cones that have grown. Let's see if we get 3D in here. I don't know why the 3D's not working. I gotta turn on terrain. Yeah, okay, there we go. And you can see these little cinder cone volcanoes. Now, these only erupt once. Cinder cone type volcanoes, they only erupt once from this orifice, I guess you could say. So these are safe to live in. It's not like they're going to erupt again. So they just leave behind a really volcanic looking, area here. They're really pretty, but they don't erupt again. And then again, right here, you can see another very large one that people live inside of. But they're harmless. But this area is not harmless. You can get eruptions from the complex. The Phlegraean fields. Campy Phlegrae, the supervolcano. We have those cinder cone type volcanoes all over the west coast, actually. The most notable I can think of is Lassen in California. The Lassen Volcanic Park. You have a cinder cone volcano that erupted, I want to say, only a couple hundred years ago. And you can see all the lava that has cooled. It left behind, like, really awesome dried, like, lava beds and obsidian and stuff out of the cinder cone. And you can actually hike the cinder cone. And then there's also stuff, my personal favorite is Wizard Island in Oregon. There's Crater Lake, which is a volcano that erupted with a VEI-7 eruption, which caused this entire lake you see is one giant crater from a massive volcanic eruption in Oregon. This thing was massive, okay? But, tens of thousands of years later, you had another small cinder cone volcano erupt in the middle of the lake. So you have this, like, gorgeous volcano in the middle of this freshwater lake. You guys have got to see Wizard Island. Oh, there's got to be a good picture. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. It's like the most classic looking, like, volcano. Like, it's gorgeous. It's all fresh water, too. It's super preserved, It's great. And then there's extinct and dormant volcanoes as far east as Arizona. I think New Mexico too. I think New Mexico, yeah, obviously New Mexico has a super volcano. Um, there is a super volcano in New Mexico. There's some lava fields in Colorado I'm aware of. Um, the farthest east extinct volcano is in Illinois. As far as I'm aware, I believe. Yeah, this right here is a huge extinct lava flow too. You can see here; these are all lava flows, and they just, when they cool, they're they get pitch black. Where's some cinder cones? Is there something under Jackson? Yeah. I don't know if what's more east, the Jackson one, but yeah, Jackson has a volcano directly under it. It's the Jackson volcano. It's millions of years old, but it's real. It's there. How old is it? But it's literally right beneath the city. Yeah, it's 2,900 feet beneath the city. It is 66 million years old. That is dinosaur time. So, yeah. No threat by any means. You don't have to worry about a volcano popping out of nowhere. I'd honestly move out. It's 66 million years old. Or that's not true. I think Erie has. I think they found volcanic rock in Erie. I want to say there was. No. I don't care about ice volcanoes. There's there's it's either that or the Lake Michigan in the peninsula. Well, I know up in the peninsula, right up here they have found extinct lava flows that are, I think, 1 billion years old. I mean, that is Earth infancy type shit. Not infancy, but it's a really long time ago. And you were going live? Well, I didn't think I was gonna go live, but then Vada got me in the mood, so I went live. But yeah, there's lava up in lava flows extinct Michigan. I'll just look that up. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Michigan's Upper Peninsula has evidence of ancient lava flows that were created during the mid-continental drift, a volcanic event that occurred between 1.096 and 1.087 billion years ago. Billion. I mean, that is a long fucking time ago. Get out of here. Yeah, but you can see right here is the rock legend. You can see that there's volcanic rock that actually extends from Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, then up into the peninsula. It's pretty cool. I didn't know it actually extended that far out, but there's evidence of those huge lava flows and stuff. And volcanism. Far ago, dude. Geology's badass, man. Geology's badass. You can just dig beneath us and uncover history. There's volcanic cliff right here. This is all volcanic, but it's all billions of years old. There's no threat from that. Extinct cinder cones. How far east do we get? Because there's plenty in New Mexico. Yeah. Capulin, which I believe is in Arizona. But yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. We have arguably the most geographically diverse, climatologically diverse, beautifully diverse country like in the world, man. I guess you could think like another similar one would be China. China's incredibly, diverse when it comes to climatology and geological features, but man, there's something about the U.S., dude. We have so much shit, and our national parks are crazy, man. I'm going to Italy today. That's what's up. Any reason? Just vacating and stuff? Doing vacation stuff? Dude, watch out for water spouts, dude. Italy gets more water spouts than, like, anywhere. It's kind of insane. Pizza? Going to Italy for pizza. Dude, it's crazy, though, because, like, in Europe, it's like, oh, dude, I'm going to go to another country today. It's going to be a 30-minute drive. The closest drive, like, if I wanted to get to Canada, it'd be a 3-hour drive. But that's because it's right there. Dude, if I wanted to get, dude, I can't even get to certain places in Michigan without driving 4 hours. It's an 8-hour drive in total. Damn. Oh, gosh. Let's go to Isle Royale. That'd be fun. My, I had it wasn't Isle Royale, but it was some island. She lived on it. She lived on a fucking island in, like, Michigan. And, she talked about it. She'd, like, throw crazy parties. Terror poop. I'd be scared to live anywhere near a volcano. Dude, you got extinct lava flows all around you. Dude, I think if you ask people in Hawaii, would you rather live where you get tornadoes all the time, or would you rather live here? I think most people would be like, oh yeah, dude, I'd rather live here. Is that a long track? Yes, it is, dude. It was for a scenario. It's a 50-mile long path that I detailed. And I never touched it again. Let's go to Tuscaloosa. People always say it, though. Like, I see a bunch of Europeans on tornado videos that are like, I could never live in the United States. There's so many bloody tornadoes. It's like, without, you have to really be unlucky to get directly impacted by a tornado. I live in a tornado-prone area, and I have never, ever, ever been hit by a tornado. I've never been hit by a tornado. Directly. Like, not even close. Like, I've had tornadoes go miles from me, but these miles, and they're like EF zeros. You know what I mean? You better knock on wood, brother. Yeah, dude, I don't want to get cored by like an EF5, but dude, in general, like, dude, did Google Earth just like do this? Did they have satellite imagery just for the tornadoes? Because the only area for April 2011 is the tornado path. That's it. Only the tornado path is on Google Earth. Only. You can see the area here. They only covered the tornado path. There's one for Smithville too, but it was like a private thing. Where's Smithville at? It's like right up here. No, it's down a little more. And if you go to April of 2011, you know, it's still pre-Smithville. But you go a little bit in the future and all that stuff is gone. Where is it in the field? Yeah, right here is the scouring from the tornado. It's still visible today, too. I'd like to go and take a walk out there and see how deep it was. It's obviously been too long. There's, like, no pictures of it up close, which is so weird that no one ever got pictures. But even to this day, it's a little harder to see. But there's some... It's... The earth is scarred forever from something like that. We found Philadelphia, too. There was that stream where we were searching for, like, 2 hours for the area in Philadelphia where there was the 2 feet scouring, and we found it. And it is still there. And it's pretty obvious, too. There's, like, a huge patch of ground that is just, like... God. We found it on that one stream, and I don't know whatever happened to that stream. We had to use the DAT and just, like, go along it with Google Earth to try to find it. It was a pain in the ass. Joplin is so crazy. It's crazy to think that this actually happened in, like, the 21st century, you know what I mean? Like a tornado event so catastrophic, like this many lives lost, this much damage and shit. It's so crazy, man. So crazy. And I never thought anything like it would happen again. You know, and it hasn't since, knock on wood, but shit like Mayfield, you know what I mean? And you just kill like so many people. It's like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? I didn't think you'd see fatality numbers like that again. But... And I think it was in this park... I forget which parking lot it is, but it tore the pavement off of the parking lot. God, I don't know where it was. But the parking lot had its pavement peeled. I'm pretty sure there's there's still people who are like anti-Joplin EF5. I mean, they're a goofy minority, but how can you deny that? Yeah, it's a little goofy. Look at the scouring out here. And you can see the cycloids there. Swirled into the city. That massive clearing between Little Rock and Memphis, that must have been an EF11. Dude, it was. Extreme hypernado. Lava made a scenario about it to try to warn us all. Shit's too long. Kansas is is a painful drive. Dude, I think Illinois is a painful drive. Oh my god. Bro, Illinois is a pain in the ass, dude. When you get near Springfield, bro, like there are areas that are so flat, it's brain rotting. Like it feels like you're in the middle of dude, it feels like you're in Kansas and like areas like just west of Springfield. It's so fucking flat, like for miles and miles and miles and miles. It is so brain rotting. Okay, this is not nearly as bad. But, dude, it's like... oh, my God, it's bad. Driving through Iowa is like that, too. It's boring. Driving through Iowa is boring. But the only time I've ever driven straight through the entirety of Iowa was after seeing several tornadoes. So I was so cracked up from adrenaline that it was very easy to just make the drive. Like, it was literally basically Omaha to home in one day. Pretty much. I would never wish driving on I-95 on anybody. Dude, imagine going from, like, Miami to, like, New York or Providence or something. Dude, there's a... oh my god, dude. I remember I was fucking around one night and I was like, how long would it take if I just... like, to just drive to Alaska? I think it was 2 days. And I was surprising. I was like, okay. Like, that's a long time to drive. But if you think about it, like, that's not that long. Like, 2 days? Like, bro. Like, you're telling me that in 2 days' time, I can be hanging out in Alaska. Or, like, the fact that you can just, like, get anywhere in under 24 hours, like, is crazy to me. Like, you can hop on a plane and get anywhere in the world within 24 hours. You can just say, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Beijing. And just do it. Shit's crazy. I get it, it's kind of like Indiana man learns traveling, but it's fucking nuts to me. Dude, let's go to Campo. Where are you at, yeah, Campo, my goat. It's where the greatest tornado ever happened. Right here. Right on the border of, like, Oklahoma. Missouri's terrain is crazy. Missouri's terrain is really... it varies a lot. Kind of like Arkansas or Oklahoma. Where, you know, you have some flat land and then it gets really mountainous. Have you seen the Twisted leak? I haven't. What is it? I know people that are like, hey, dude, chasing the Mississippi Delta isn't that bad. It has better terrain. The Mississippi Delta is still not good, in my humble opinion. I mean, it's better than, like, most areas, but I don't think, like, chasing in the Mississippi Delta is, like, peak chasing terrain or anything. I mean, it's definitely... I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, I don't know. This is actually pretty damn good. But there's quite a few areas, and you don't... like... maybe it's just... it's difficult down here because the road networks. It's not like a perfectly gridded, you know, area, and the storms are always flying at 60, 70 miles an hour. Dixie always just seems too difficult to ever go for it. To me, at least. I love the slower stuff. And I don't mind chasing fast storm motions. I have before, many times, but it gets very frustrating when you fall behind because you can't catch back up. You have to like position yourself ahead and just get it. It's kind of what I did on Greenfield days. You just get ahead and wait for it to come to you. I feel so bad. There were so many chasers that day that like were in like Des Moines and shit. They like really wanted to get ahead, and they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna wait for storms to mature and get them out here." Oh man, all the action was here. What day? May 21st, Greenfield Day. Like literally all the action was out here. It's got to feel awful. Waiting in like Des Moines, and I know there was people who played the warm front. They're like, "I'm gonna play the warm front up here," and I was like, "That's a terrible decision." Like there are some times when models give you a go here stupid thing, and you don't always have to play the, oh, the warm front, dude. If there's a storm along the warm front, dude, it's gonna go so crazy. It's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. Blah, 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 blah. You don't always do that, man. Sometimes when there's a signal, and you just gotta do it. You don't have to go all. Sometimes it's easier than you think. Sometimes you don't need much meteorology to figure it out. You know what I mean? On days like that day, dude, you go to the southern end of the developing QLCS, where you're still going to get discrete or semi-discrete supercells, and you're going to hang out there. You're not going to play the hypothetical prefrontal warm frontal supercell. It's so high risk. Man, fuck that. There was a significant tornado near Des Moines, but like nobody saw it. You know what I mean? Like the play that day was the Red Oak area. My target that day, I'm pretty sure, was like Stanton, which was perfect. Like it was the easiest day in the world because it was easy, dude. It was it was 2 days straight of the HRRR firing supercells in southwest Iowa. It was literally this area, nonstop. Literally nonstop. And I still saw people on Twitter that were, and I respect them for their forecast, and they were totally right. If there was like a warm frontal storm, it probably would have gone nuts. But I am not wasting my goddamn time on such a hypothetical, high risk, high reward thing. I'm just going to go for the tornadoes. Like, just get the tornadoes. And this was easy. This was so easy. It was go here, stupid. And, so many people positioned so far down the line. You just got to get in a place where you're going to get the supercells as they're still discrete. Because there were still tornadoes. They were just all rain wrapped, and you couldn't see them, and it was just a full-on QLCS at that point. When you got them when they were still discrete or semi-discrete supercells. I mean, the play of the day was one storm. It was a singular storm. It was one singular storm. And it was the Velisca supercell. It came up here. It was right up here. It planted the tornado that crossed this intersection right here. And then it did a pilger and dropped another tornado. 2 simultaneous tornadoes moving up like that. The OG Velisca one went kind of near Carbon and occluded, and the other one went all the way up to Greenfield. And that was just the play of the day. And they were pretty photogenic on good road networks in good terrain. Not the best terrain in the world, but it was good, and it was easy. It was easy. What is this? Is this a new map or more area? Once you learn to forecast and stuff. Like, I'm not going to act like it's the easiest thing in the world to pick a target. But it's not hard. Like, there's a couple days where I've struck. What's hard is the really, really big risk area days that don't have any specific areas. And those points you just have to surface ob kind of thing. You just have to look at obs. You have to look at satellite and know where to go. But there's never really a time where I felt clueless. You know, you just go to the general area, and the thing with tornado chasing is it's not one and done, man. These unless it's like a really, you know, low end event. Most of the time, dude, supercells are gonna persist and produce tornadoes for hours. You know, you're gonna you can be 2 hours from a storm, and you can see it blow up, and you can be like, okay, we're gonna go there, and it's gonna be 2 hours of driving, but once you get there, dude, I mean. Like, for example, I was in the May, what day was it? It was May 7th? It was after the high risk day. It was that big 10 hatched in Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, that 10 hatched. Dude, I was up in Michigan. I want to say I was near Coldwater, and I dropped like 2.5 hours south on a supercell that persisted for hours and got a tornado out of it. You know, I thought, you know, it's never over till it's over. You know what I mean? Even if you're clueless and you go into a day and have nowhere to go, just go to the storms. You know, go to the storms, because they're not gonna, again, unless it's a really low end day, they're not just gonna disappear. You just gotta go to them, and you're gonna get something out of it. But the easiest chase I have ever had that has been super successful was May 21st. That was so fucking easy. It was so easy. On the same road the whole time. Literally this intersection here, or not intersection, this kind of area here. We did a U-turn on this road because the tornado was right there. Right there as it crossed. Did a ENJYOoe. Flew back as far as we could go. Did another ENJYOoe. You know, somewhere down the line, wherever the fuck. Came back on the same road. And these signs that are here now are no longer there. Because we drove past those signs, and they were totally twisted, mangled, and torn off their stilts. The metal legs and stuff. They were completely, at least how they looked. They were completely torn and mangled and ripped off of their, how they were. And I don't know that these bins are still around. Like this Velisca sign. And I don't know if these bins are still around, because in my footage it was like it was coming right at these bins. Like those things were, those things were cooked. Those things were fucked. You know, the trees were wiped. You know, there was a small little, I want to say it was this right up here that was destroyed. And there was a tractor, there's a mangled tractor thrown into the road. Yeah, it was this. I don't know what it was. There was a tractor trailer that was mangled and thrown in the road right here. Had to do a little loopy around it. And out of the corner of my eye, right over here, noticed the new cycle. I was like, no fucking way. Because my radar's down, I have no clue. Like what's going on. I'm purely using storm scale stuff right over here. I'm looking over, still watching the carbon tornado, which at this point is a huge cone. Good night, Eagle. But all off to the north here, still watching carbon, is a fucking giant Dodge City ass cone tornado. And then coming right through here, then it gets wrapped in the rain. It becomes totally invisible. And then there's another tornado right up here, and I come up. And the other tornado is Greenfield. And I'm shoot farther down. And I'm probably down here. I'm like a mile from Greenfield. I'm going to watch it from a distance. And you could just tell that it was a violent tornado, dude. It was like so aggressively multi-vortex. We've all seen the videos, right? But it was so like ridiculous, and then you could see it off in the distance just going nuts. And damage for miles too. That's the thing, is we were going through roads to get home, and we had to pass very close to Greenfield. we might have actually gone through Greenfield after the tornado, but I didn't see any damage or anything. But it was a small tornado. It was an incredibly violent tornado, but it was small. But I remember driving and, again, still had no idea. There was no internet. I had absolutely no clue what was going on. But there was so many emergency vehicles. There were cops flying by us like crazy. So much EMS, so much stuff. There was, I mean, we were miles outside of the path, you know, and there was shrapnel wrapped around trees in random areas. There was tons of collapsed stuff. There was, yeah, the wind turbines, stuff like that. The wind turbines burning and stuff. It was like, with no internet, we had no idea what was going on, but we could kind of tell that something wasn't right. And then getting on social media, and the first image that I remember seeing was a repost from Nick Kras. It was a repost of a Facebook post, and it was like flattened houses, like as far as the eye could see, in deep arc trees. And I was like, holy shit, like, it's bad there. That's really bad. And then just powered through it. Just drove all the way back home that night. And I remember I was like in shock for like a few days, just thinking about it. Like, I was like, huh. Well, that's crazy, you know. It's sad though, man. It's sad though, man, because the chase takes a whole different turn. Takes a whole different turn. Kind of dark. You know what I mean? You're like, huh, dude, people like literally died. And it's crazy, man. Crazy. Knowing you've seen a killer tornado, you know, and not just any killer tornado, dude. A historically intense tornado. Crazy. And it's still super surreal in a lot of ways. And I still don't know my favorite tornado out of that day. You know, I flip-flop. I think it is Carbon, because Carbon was... Greenfield never really fully condensed. Like, even in Reed's video, like, it looks like it's fully condensed. It's really not. It's very so multi-vortex and see-through, in quotes, I guess you could say, you know? Very dirty. But Carbon did. Carbon was a fully condensed, and it went through so many shapes. Carbon was a borderline wedge over the trees at one point, and it comes up, it becomes this huge, like, multi-vortex tornado. Then it condenses again into a big fat cone, you know, gets rain wrath, and then pops out when it's occluding as this, like, beautiful white stovepipe turning into a rope drill bit, you know, and then has this helical unwind as it ropes out. And it was like, well, shit, you know, what could get better than that? And it was crazy because I saw Carbon, the rope out from Carbon, after the Greenfield tornado. I'd already left my field of sight. So we first intercept the Carbon tornado up here near this. We're watching the Carbon tornado from back here. You know, we have it in for like 10 minutes. We're watching it. It completely disappears. Keep driving, see the Greenfield tornado, and then like 5 minutes later, after the Greenfield tornado, Carbon reappears, and it was like, holy shit. You know, it was like tornadoes out the ass. Like, at that point, I wondered if it was a separate tornado, because I hadn't looked at radar. You know, radar was down. I had no idea. I wish radar was up, because I wish I could have gotten a screenshot. Because I was in Carbon CC drop, it would have made a crazy ass screenshot. I could get the radar data, but it's crazy. It really has been 2 months. He shows up at your door while you sleep. It's true. I will. I'll come to your door while you're asleep. Illinois has been, and this is the thing. I know people are going to be like, what the fuck, dude? Illinois has had its most active year ever and is leading the country in tornado count. But Illinois has been slow, dude. like, like compared to, like, in terms of photogenic tornadoes and great chasing opportunities, there's only been a couple in Illinois this year. And I did get an Illinois tornado this year, but to be fair, it was only one. And compared to what Illinois usually does, you know, Illinois usually goes a little schnutz and gives you at least one crazy photogenic tornado outbreak. And we still have plenty of rest of the year to go, and usually it pulls through. It definitely pulls through. Like August too. August has historically been a tornado year for Indiana. You know, one of our biggest, most memorable outbreaks was in August of 2016. You know, September, October, November, December, those get popping. One of Illinois' biggest tornado outbreaks as well was in December. So I'm just waiting. November, you know, November 17, 2013. Crazy high risk. Several EF4s in Illinois. Just hoping for Illinois to pull through. I do really fuck with Illinois in the wintertime, though, over the springtime events almost, because Illinois in the wintertime, number one, is easier forecasting-wise. It's usually a go here stupid kind of thing. Storms are usually more photogenic that time of year because you lack a lot of thermodynamics. It's mostly all kinematically driven, those events, right? So you don't have to worry about like super high P-watt values, super high humidity or anything. You're not going to have these like sogged out storms, you know. You just have these like nice, chill storms. And in the wintertime, it's chilly, so I don't have to worry about fucking my air conditioning frying me alive while I'm out there. You know, it's just better. It's easier. There's not as many people out there, too. It's all around better in the winter. And you get more cold core stuff in the winter. And Illinois always shows off that way. And Iowa. Iowa and Illinois usually show off pretty hard. I'm just going to look it up. But you'll see. Like, Illinois has crazy. Like, in December. In December. Classic. This was a... it's from Andrew Pritchard. This was a classic cold core event. This is the Taylorville day or whatever. Crazy. In the middle of December. It's chilly outside. And you're getting these crazy photogenic tornadoes that are just totally LP, like borderline NP. Blue sky behind them. Those days are always... And the thing with cold core events is there's usually not an overabundance of convection. So you just get a couple supercells and it's easy. Like, it's not hard. I'm hungry. Low key. What do I go get? What do I eat? I'm gonna go get some food real quick. I'll be right back. some cereal. I want to say, we've talked about this before, but I want to say she lived in Bridge Creek. There was this girl, and she was like a year old at the time. But she got directly cored, her and her parents and her house and everything, got directly cored by the F5. And she was thrown. I don't fucking know how far she was thrown. I want to say she was thrown like, dude, at least a mile, like a baby, okay? And she landed, like, without a scratch. And she grew up to be... She said, like, she wanted to be a storm chaser when she grew up and shit, too. When she got older. She's in a documentary. Like, dude, you know how metal that is? To be thrown by an F5, like, as a baby, almost dying. Be like, yeah, dude. I need to get my hands on some tornadoes. God had his hands on that child? Well, shit. Apparently God didn't have his hands on 30 other people that day, including children that died in horrific ways. But, you know. Remember as a kid wishing I was under tornado warnings? Dude, I always like... Back in 2015, I tried to convince my mom to buy a chasing tour that we could go on. If she went through with it, I would have been like 12 years old and I would have seen Dodge City. Can you imagine that for a 12-year-old? 12-year-old's first chase on a chasing tour and you get Dodge City. No, but those are so much fucking money, dude. Like, they're thousands of dollars. Like, no one could afford that. No one can afford that shit. Unless you're, like, really well off. Where is it at? Oklahoma tornado target. That's a documentary. Where's the mud baby? That's what they call her. They call her the mud baby. Mike Morgan, my goat. Oh yeah, there she is. Bro, is that the EAS font, bro?
Under some debris around the base of a tree, I seen what appeared to be a baby. It looked to me
now
like
look.
a rag doll.
Literally mud baby. That's the girl.
I reached under the debris, pulled the baby out. When I did, the baby started crying. Yeah, I cried.
That's me. That's the mud baby.
The baby in the mud is now a teenager. Leah Crago survived the 1999 Moore tornado.
I'm very lucky. That tornado was like one of the biggest recorded. Like the wind speeds were very fast. That should have killed me, but it didn't. It just flung me.
Leah was in her mother Amy's arms inside the house.
We heard the windows go out. And the house come apart. The area.
Bro. That's fucking insane. Look at that shit. Like, it's not like you got a hint, like, with the F5, but, like, on the outer winds or something, dude. They got, like, fucking cord. Look at that. And they're okay. The mom has to be traumatized, though, dude. You have to imagine how terrible that was for the mom. Like, she thought her baby died, you know, for at least, like, half a day, you know, until they found her. You gotta imagine the relief from a mother finding out their child is alive after something like that. Oh, my God.
Here around my house was completely gone.
Amy went to the hospital without her daughter. In fact, she didn't even know that officer had found her baby till 5 hours later.
It's mind-blowing for me to survive that and everything. I mean, that little baby. Even the police officer that found me said I looked like a baby doll until I moved.
She got rolled up against the base of a tree.
All that other stuff that was in the debris and stuff, if that should have killed me, it should have hit me, but it didn't.
Look at that. You see those? Those are two small scars that Aaliyah still has. She is not, however, holding on to a fear of tornadoes.
I only chase tornadoes. Be a storm chaser and part-time meteorologist.
Fast forward.
Shit's gas, bro. After all that. Dude, I wonder what her mom thinks about that, though, dude. I wonder what her fucking mom thinks about that. Bro, she's probably like, hell no. Storm chaser my fucking gooch, bro. You're not going out seeing shit. You can stand out in the rain. You're not chasing no tornadoes. Dude, luckily, my parents have never been against it. My dad's been begging me, and I've taken my mom chasing a few times. There's this guy, and he lives in Moore. And this man has seen so many tornadoes, and he doesn't even chase. He just fucking looks out his window. All those fucking tornadoes. Could you imagine that shit? Like, yeah, my tornado count is 26. I've never gone chasing ever, but I've seen 26 tornadoes, including several EF4s and even an EF5. Dude, who's the meteorologist on Twitter who says storm chasing is like disaster tourism? What's his fucking name, dude? I never understood that. Like, I can understand how it can be. I find, like, a lot of times, I think it's kind of immoral. Not even kind of. I think it feels immoral and fucked up to take damage video from people who just lost everything. I think that's fucked up. But storm chasing itself, I don't see how it's disaster tourism. The tornadoes are gonna be there regardless. Like, who cares if they see them? Like, being there isn't gonna stop them from being there. And tornadoes exist. And people build houses. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of times houses are, like, in the way of tornadoes. It's not that tornadoes are inherently some evil, terrible force. They just exist. And houses are in the way of them sometimes. And they cause damage. And there's no control over that. How is chasing tornadoes that sometimes happen to hit structures because homes are just in the way disaster tourism? How does that make any sense? Especially if you're reporting. Like, you're actually doing work out there that's informing the public. You know what I mean? And, like, giving video to people who can use it in the warning process. You know what I mean? I don't understand how it's disaster tourism. I feel like that's like a stupid mush brain take. Johnny was so freaking lucky, dude. I was worried. There's only been 2 times in a coverage stream I've gotten, like, genuinely really concerned for, like, a viewer. One was the one girl in Omaha when Elkhorn was ongoing. I was worried as hell when she... Because it looked like initially there was, like, a little wobble or so, but it looked initially like it was going to go straight at this girl. And she was in chat... And I was like, where do you live? In Nebraska. And she said Omaha. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. So we were able to get her ready and stuff. And she ended up being okay. It passed near her, but, you know, she wasn't in Elkhorn or anything. But that was really worrying. That was tough. Because I was worried about that. And then Johnny. That was the same thing. It looked like it was going to go right there. And... he said he wanted to go outside and see it, and I was like, oh my God, please don't do that, dude. Like, if you want to see the tornado, you're not going to see it from here. Like, if you want to see the tornado, have it hit your house first, and then go see it when you're out of the path, and now behind it, to where it's not going to get you, bro. Like, if you want to see the tornado that bad, like, please don't stand outside. Like, I know the want to see a tornado. I understand the need. The primal urge to see nature, okay? But dude, it's gotta wait. It can wait. It can fucking wait. Because not everybody knows what they're doing. You know? Like, it will kill you. If you do the wrong thing, you will die. What the hell? Dude, I just got like full on porn on my Twitter timeline. I feel like I'm like 14 again, dude. Oh my God. Where my entire Twitter timeline is nothing but like ass. I remember I cracked my ear one time. And if you pull on the flap, like if you pull like up on the flap, you can get it. And it makes like a noise. There's people who crack their hair too. And they say it helps with migraines, but it's actually really like bad. Like you shouldn't do it because you're not like really cracking anything. You're like pulling the scalp off the skull, basically. It's really weird. Dude, it's crazy. Look at this shit. I guess that you couldn't really hear that. Hold on.
Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit of hair cracking here.
Where's the hair cracking? Where's it at? I'm waiting. Oh, you liar. Crack her hair. I need to show my viewers. What the hell? What the hell? Give me a good hair crack. What are we doing? Come on, do a good one. Do a good one. Bro, I swear to God, it's impossible to find a video. There, that, right there. That shit, dude. Oh my God, it sounds like it hurts. Like, I feel like that's not a function that you're supposed to unlock in the human body. It sounds painful? Yeah, it does. It seems painful. To just... man. Anyway. I'm ENJYOoe. I think I'm going to end the stream here. We've had a good hour or so, but I'm tired. I think I'm going to kick it here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time.